If you look at it as an up-leveled risk, if you say, okay, well, we know that if you're operating an oil refinery, it's a critical infrastructure risk, right? But having a problem in one PLC in that environment doesn't really mean that it's critical infrastructure, right? If we have a systemic risk that affects that whole refinery and takes it down, that now becomes a critical infrastructure risk. So it's more of the critical systemic risk versus just we call it critical risk because it makes sense.
I totally agree with that framework. So in terms of how we're thinking about like ransomware, attempting to solve that problem, I was just involved in so many of these conversations. I was actively engaged with, the Secret Service and the FBI when I was at Silence, doing a lot of these negotiations and getting them Bitcoin addresses and things like that so that they could help track people down, even though, Bitcoin's totally anonymous. I think what is maybe a better way I've tried to think about it is what aren't the solutions? And the DOJ, I don't know where this legislation and all this is at this point, but for a while they were talking about making it illegal to make ransom payments.
Yeah, and that's kind of been Jenny Stilly has kind of pushed back and said it's unlikely that that's going
It's
to happen.
nonsensical. It's absolutely nonsensical. It's never going to work ever. It's just not going to happen. I handled multiple ransomware incidents. The CEOs of those organizations were absolutely beside themselves that they had to make these payments. And I said, you guys have two options. You can make this payment or you can just not have a company anymore. You choose. As an American society, we can say we're going to ship, like if we think we're going to stem the global tide of ransomware because some organization with 500 people doesn't make a $200,000 ransomware payment, we can say that and make us feel good on the inside, but it doesn't matter. They're gonna keep doing what they're doing. Now we're gonna put a company out of business and all those people aren't gonna have jobs and no one's better for it.